to set the background using GL Clear Color, where alpha is the term. Up to now, I have not discussed more on this. Now it is required because you are creating a 3D picture. When you create a 3D picture, you want to see, you want to make it transparent or bounded, or it should be covered. So based on this parameter, you are making the color combination available, alpha. So make the variable may take the value 0 or 1 within this range. That is based on the alpha value, the transparency effect of that object will be notified. And to make clear the window with a background color, we are calling GL color buffer bit. So I think in the 2D and 3D transformation function, we called GL matrix mode. This is the important routine which actually creates the projection onto your system. When it is your data should be projected to your particular area. Before doing the modification to any of the data, you should call identity matrix. The identity matrix on which the operation will be done on the any of your matrix, and the data will be put onto the output screen. So the discussion of one of the PDFs document which I sent, read to it, which contains the silent activities that will be taken in OpenGL. Each and every point you should notify, otherwise your program, the output of your screen will be not under your control. So for that reason, I once again address you, look into the PDF document which I sent already to make yourself comfortable in understanding this. So I think you already done simple programs, drawing the line. Now I am just giving an assignment to you. You already drawn a line. Now can you draw a dotted lines or gap between two gap? You want to have a gap. How to make your program to do this? Or thick line. And all these activities are the attributes to which you are going to say. So for some of the things, we are having the built-in support APIs, GL line width 4.0 makes little bit wider than ordinary or standalone with 1.0. Like that, there are so many different work that can be carried out. Using polyline function, you can create an interesting polygons. You can join this. At the end also you can join. Now, whenever you create this type of picture, you have a chance of creating varieties of geometrical pictures, such as, for example, you can create from this scratch a waveform. So you can also see here, between two vertex, you are making use of polyline support and making this graph created. Using this, I think an interesting picture such as dinosaur, that is all this program, with the help of program only it is created. It is not drawn using paint. So it is your interest to develop a program with the available built-in function support to create very interesting picture. I think in the classroom I have given you how to create a robo. In the same fashion, you create now some irregular shaped picture through polyline support. So while doing all these things, you should know very trickier issue is the aspect ratio. The width with respect to height, what is the ratio should be maintained? If you don't maintain the ratio, your output will be of not clear representation. You observe this picture, that is a house. Here lengthier, the width is very small, resulting it look like odd. If you maintain the aspect ratio, then the principle of any object looks clear. So I think there are many such aspect ratio maintenance of picture which are available in the scenario. That is, I think you are familiar with this landscape TV screen support, where it maintains 4:3, 4 along the horizontal, 3 along the vertical, width with respect to height, landscape, portrait, square. If you observe both, the TV's output will not be square. TV output will be 4:3. Then only the object will be appears as you feel comfortable naturally. In the same fashion, you have to maintain this aspect ratio. Now, why it is required here? It is to draw a picture using width of 4:3. But after displaying the picture, user may change the width of this. Whenever you change the width, the object inside should also be modified. Otherwise, it looks odd on the output screen, just like the picture looks like this. The house picture, how it manages in the system. So in the same fashion, we have used aligned rectangles. Using here, one interesting thing you can observe, a rectangle is drawn above another rectangle. The previous rectangle is masked. The effect we have used in our Windows system, now we are creating this type of environment to program. Whenever a user closes this rectangle should be redrawn. Otherwise, the portion of this will be washed out. So how to manage this is the requirement in managing the windows. So these are all some activity. For curiosity, if you are comfortable in programming, with the help of rectangle only, by filling the rectangle with filled with a current color, when you create rectangle, before calling this function, whatever the current color is there, corresponding color will be assigned to the rectangle drawn on top of the previous one. So using this activity, you can create a chessboard. This is created with the help of joining the rectangle in a particular order. The same picture can be created with many other scenarios. At the end of the programming exercise in the lab, you are creating such type of one program to demonstrate these activities. So I hope you understood the need of aspect ratio for your program. One more thing is on polygons. The polygons may be concave or a convex. So if when you say it is concave and convex, you may be studied in your mathematics. Here, this is important from the perspective of filling. So whenever you start filling the data from row wise, first row, second row, third row, when you start filling this F, it will come to up to this point. It should not print any of the pixels should be made on between these 2 points. Once again, this should be on from the next point where it is covers inside. This difficulty is there with respect to concave polygons. Whereas in convex polygon, if you observe TF, this is not that today. If you start scanning from the pixel of the end boundary to last bound, it start filling without any disturbance. The convex polygon filling is easier, but whereas when you go for a concave polygon, filling the polygon is not that easy, and you have to take care of so many other extra logic in order to handle these situations. So this is required for next experiment. Anyway, just to brush out what is a polygon, concave and a convex polygon support is required in order to handle those programs. So to create polygon, you are using primitive GL polygon support, and we create the vertex and join all of them, polygon is get created. These are all very primitive functions are available. Now you are moving to 3D pictures. How to create cone, how to create wind, for example, cube, all these things are required. There is a built-in graphic primitive function for 3D also. Once if we create using primitives, it is our duty how to create from the scratch. I think one or two experiments are there in your lab to create from basic support using polygon. Can you create a cube? So these routines will be there in the next program. So OpenGL is having many quadratic surface creation with the help of GLUT library. GLUT solid sphere, solid cube, solid cone. Solid refers to the complete picture will be filled up. So you cannot observe what is there on the background. Only the shading effect and lighting effect makes the object looks 3D. Otherwise, if the shading effect is not there, it looks like a triangle or a square, these pictures. So whenever the wireframe model is given, only the transparency effect will be there. Even background we can also observe. So these are all wireframe support and these. So one example is, for example, GLUT solid core. It is supported with 4 parameters: base, height, slices, stacks. Horizontal and vertical slices and stack support makes that cone shape is created in the computer screen. So in the wireframe API also the same thing, but only it is lines are joined. It is not filled up. So this is an example to demonstrate. This is for sphere where it is required the radius and as well as number of vertical lines, number of horizontal lines. That is longitude and latitude support, and whether this is wireframe model. Whereas this is also wireframe model. Inside is fully filled up with a black color. This is the flat shading effect. The light is start from the right side. The portion of the rectangle here, flat surfaces are made bright, and the effect is made diminished. The white filling of the polygons will be reduced, and finally it is made dark. So the complete scenario is done through graphic support. It is not realistic picture. So user feel it is created. Now you observe this to some extent. This instead of making the shades effect as instead of flat, you are making smooth effect. After creating this effect, any picture is there, you can embed on this. Now a globe picture, look, your sphere looks like a globe now. Along with the wireframe model, if you put inside, it looks like different pictures. Now you just demonstrated this picture. You are creating this thing in your program. So with respect to sphere, you with respect to cone, you require radius, height, number of subdivision along the z-axis, around and along the z-axis. So this is the picture which looks along this horizontal and vertical. Same thing is required for here the sphere. Here is radius, slices and stacks. So I think you can understand these parameters support and make the 3D picture is ready. So whenever you call this function in your program, a default coordinate system with 0, 0 at the center, 3D, camera is at the center of your cube and runs from -1 to +1 along the x-axis, y-axis and z-axis. Now it creates an effect of -2 units of a cube. Inside that, the camera is present at the center or your object is center. So this is the default system that is required. You can change this according to your, just like GL Ortho 3D support. GL Ortho support. GL Ortho 2D for 2D screen, GL Ortho for 3D screen. So anyway, we will try to, up to this point I had discussed up to last hour. Those who are absent in the last hour, try to make yourself comfortable in once again reading those slices. I have gone little bit fast. Now I will go with our regular syllabus. A user interaction with the mouse and keyboard. These two are very important routines. These two are devices. Now mouse and keyboard are the device. Both are acts as an input device. So you have to register these devices with the help of corresponding functions which are available. One is glut mouse function. Inside this is user defined function. Similarly, the keyboard function is invoked with keyboard function, my keyboard. Note, any drawing you do when you use this function must be done in the mouse or keyboard function or in a function called from within the mouse or keyboard callback function. Otherwise, the effect will not be there in your program. So you have to take care of these two functions should be written by user only or the programmer only. So let us understand these devices clearly because you are making use of this device. Input devices, there are two different ways to look the devices from the perspective of understanding. One is called physical device, observing through our eye, keyboard, mouse, joystick, tablet, many such devices which are there, they are called physical device. They appear but for a program, it acts as a logical device. So whenever these devices is interfaced, you require an application program. Look at these devices. These devices should be characterized by high-level interface with the user program rather than by its physical characteristics. These devices will give some values to the program. Based on the values, the corresponding action to be taken place. Now, just an example, in C, input outputs are done using printf and scanf, getChr and putChr. These are the functions through which you are taking your input and output to the screen. If you use Cn and take the data in C++, now the question is whether the data is coming from the input keyboard or from the file. These are all the questions. So based on the corresponding standard buffers which are allocated to these various functions is used in order to catch this. In the same fashion, in computer graphics, the use of logical devices is slightly more complex. This is because the forms that input can take are more varied than the strings of bits or character. In a non-graphical application, we restrict it to bits or character. In keyboard, when a key is pressed, the ASCII value will be written. The program catches this ASCII value. For example, escape. You are checking 27. If it is true, then the corresponding action is invoked. So in the same routines you have to take care here differently in computer graphics to handle these devices. So each device has properties that make it more suitable for certain tasks than for others. These are the two primary types of physical device. One it is called as pointing device, another they are called as keyboard devices. So with this introduction to these physics, so note this in the exam you will get a question. What are the different ways you can look into the devices? One is physical device and logical device. Sometimes they ask you to explain any one of the device in detail. So if from the textbook or any other scenario in previously you studied, try to understand keyboard hardware. How whenever a key is pressed, how it is converted into ASCII value and finally taken by the program. Similarly, the mouse device. So you have drawn a mouse picture, but internal diagram is required in order to understand how mouse pressing a button is converted into a value, and based on that value, the activities to be done on the output screen. So this pointing device and keyboard device. So now whenever a mouse is interfaced with this device, it should be, these values should be passed to the CRT position, and the program catches the position based on the activity that will be taken care. Here both X and the Y direction under which each mouse is moving is required in order to integrate to your program. So you have to take care, the computer can then integrate these values to obtain a two-dimensional position on the computer screen. On your pad, you are moving, that moving position should be converted into corresponding XY values. By integrating the distance traveled by the ball as a velocity, we can use the device as a variable sensitivity input device in which large deviation from thrust causes rapid large changes in the output. We think there are, user is moving the mouse so fast, many times it may not be possible to catch the position. That's why application program may sometimes goes to wrong outputs, or it may goes to the hanging state. So these things should be handled properly in your program now. I think you can understand the need of this device and understanding the activities. Let us understand one more theoretical question which usually be asked in your exam also, and as well as we have to catch the main characteristics, whatever it is there. In general, there are 6 classes of logical input devices are there. All these devices are broadly classified into these categories. Some of them you call it a string, locator, pick, choice, dial, stroke. So these are all the basic ways. The main characteristics that describe logical behavior of all these input devices is what measurements these devices returns to the user program, and when the device returns these measurements. These are all the 2 questions should be known before making use of this. One is what type of measurement it gives, when this measurement will be written from the devices. So when you say a string provides ASCII strings to the user program, I think keyboard, when you press any key, for example A, the corresponding ASCII value will be catched by your program, getch program. In the same fashion, locator devices provides a position in world coordinates to the user program. Pointing devices and conversion may be needed. For example, your mouse, it locates somewhere on the computer screen. Now this acts as a pointing device. So you have to catch that and convert to your coordinate system, and based on the X and Y position, we will invoke the corresponding activities. If there are so many buttons on your screen, user presses based on the button, the XY value will be written. The X and Y value support is used to invoke the corresponding callback routines. Similarly, the pic, if there are so many values, pictures are there, it returns the identifier of an object to the user program. This is especially in the menus. When you create menus, the user may use any one of the menus for his application. When he clicks that button, it returns the identifier of that menu, and the program catches that identifier and callback function is invoked. That is called picking. Locator, picking, choice. Among the various choice, I think allows the user to select one of the distinct number of options. These are widgets, menus, scroll bars, graphical buttons. They are all used here. So dial, it provides analog input to the user program. Widgets, slide bars are the example of dial. I think these utilities are used whenever you want to show the activities that uploading of data through a dial routine. How much percentage of uploading is done is shown through a graphical ways, where it will be gives analog input to the user. That is the values that are going, output activities going on. Similarly, the stroke, it returns an array of location. For example, if you move your mouse pointer in a faster direction, only some of the points are located and results in only the arrays of location will be catched rather than continuous. So this is called as a stroke effects, which are, I think this question should be clear in your exam. Which are all the various class 6 classes of logical input devices classification? You elaborate it on this term and try to answer this question correctly. Now you try to understand these 3 scenarios which occurs with respect to any of the devices that you connect. For example, whenever a device is connected, there are multiple types of logical input devices. When you connect to your system, they measures of these devices in 3 distinct modes: request mode, sample mode, event mode. I think whenever a request is mode, it triggers the process. You are triggering and measure the process. A measurement value will be there. For the corresponding, the program will invoke the corresponding activities to catch that measures and take the value. So this is the activities that is goes on in request mode. Now you can observe this activity with respect to a mouse triggering or a keyboard triggering. So whenever a key is pressed, how the measurement will be taken, and the measurement values, how program should take the position of the mouse position in your screen, corresponding XY should be invoked, and these routines will be continuously running to catch that value, and the callback function will be invoked. This is the request mode. Sample mode, sometimes you need not to continuously take, measure the process, continuously measure and the sample. I think we understand this activity. We may not take continuously, at particular intervals only we are taking the values and make this sample mode. And event mode, since there are many devices are connected, you should also know which device is through which you have to take, what type of each device is giving its value. For this reason, trigger the process, trigger the same activity, measure the process. All these measurements are put it in a queue rather than straightforward into a data. Event queue is nothing but a queue data structure. I think you are familiar. A separate similar queue data structure is used here, and whereas each device is provided with its own queue supporting with the event, corresponding event only will be invoked. Your mouse, keyboard, everything will be done at simultaneously. Program should be in a position to handle all these devices in a sequence to make all the activities to be done to the program. Now you observe how much difficulty is there to handle all these devices when you start developing your own program where these devices are also a part of your program. So with this introduction on this block diagram, try to elaborate this block diagram with your own understanding and the textbook support, or I will try to provide a notes for this. you can read it and make yourself comfortable in answering this question. What are the types of logical input? How to obtain the measure of these devices in the program? So this is usual question I observed in the exam. It will be asked, and you draw this diagram, and it's simple diagram, but the activity inside should be explained with a example or any device. Note this, how a keyboard, my keyboard function works. Here just I am demonstrating one function, my keyboard API. Whenever it is invoked with the function, the key corresponding mouse position X and Y is invoked. Here, int mouse X position is catched to the variable. Now we are using GLint. That's why I changed the data type. You have to make use of these data types. Now don't use your regular data types, int, float. It takes care of handling the data types clearly. Mouse X is a variable of type int GLint. So that is assigned to the X variable. Y is the same variable is modified with a screen height minus mouse Y, because you understood now what is the reason behind it. Your window screen should be converted into your coordinate screen, where 0, 0 is on the bottom side, where window is a screen on the bottom side. If you flip this Y value, you'll be getting the values of X and Y. Based on the key pressed, corresponding activity will be invoked. So this is same program that what we understood, only these two routines which are added to catch some of the variables that are required to your program. I think you can understand a little bit more whenever the complete program is drawn out. So note this, the position in the screen window is usually measured in pixels with the origin at the top left corner. Consequence of refresh done from the top to bottom. OpenGL uses a world coordinate system with origin at the bottom left. Hence, you have to invert Y coordinate returned by callback function, height of the window. The height minus Y gives the real value of Y, and X will be same. So with this, I think you can understand how to catch this. So now we'll elaborate how to use keyboard function in your program. The parameters to be are unsigned character key function. Note this, the variable should be unsigned. The key is character, ASCII value is written, and mouse X and mouse Y variables. Y coordinate should be flipped with respect to screen height. The body is in the switch is catching the ASCII value. And remember, you are using switch statement and use break whenever you require to take the control over your program. This is the program, complete program to draw a 3D object on your screen. Here we are using keyboard function. Whenever a key is pressed, then only the activity will be done. So calling this API glut keyboard function with unsigned key, character key, X and Y. So my key is the function. Even you can use int or GLint support, whichever it is convenient. In many textbooks, they will use GLint rather than int. It works. So here is the function that you are writing, your user defined, just like display function, my key. Here K is equal to Q or capital Q, exit function is invoked. Similarly, for any other case, you increase your inside the activity inside your routine. So program to display a sphere with keyboard function. This is the main program. Glut init, glut create window, glut display function. You are invoking the display function where actually you are drawing your picture. One more new API is added, callback routine, glut keyboard function. My keyboard, this is the program, your own user defined function you are writing now, event driven program. My keyboard function you just observe now. My keyboard function, void my keyboard, it is new routine. If key is equal to 27, exit, that is escape key or some other key, whatever you require. Else, printf, you pressed whichever the key that you have pressed. And whenever a display function is invoked, called here inside the display function, GL clear, GL color buffer width for the background color, the corresponding color will be invoked GL color 3F001. I think RGB, blue background. Glut solid sphere. This is how you should call a 3D picture on your computer screen. A solid sphere is get created. Now you observe the routine. This is the radius 0.4. It is floating point 0 to 1 only the values. Depending upon the size of the width, it increases the size. Number of slices along the horizontal and vertical axis is 16 is 16. If you increase this, the picture quality of the is or the slices inside that patch is also become modified. So by changing this, you can observe the various quality of the spheres that can be created. Remember, use GL flush to make it to be clear, flushed at every scanning level. So this is a small program, but it demonstrates you the two things which you are discussed of how to call 3D APIs in your program. I think all 2D we have called using GL begin, GL end. Now 3D pictures are called using direct routines with corresponding arguments. Arguments should be clear. And one more thing is keyboard function. Yeah, used keyboard in this program to demonstrate how a key is pressed. The output looks like this. Whenever a key is pressed, the corresponding key is invoked. So now let us move to, I think keyboard function is over. Now I am discussing another interesting function, that is glut mouse function. This is very, very important because remaining all other programs are depend user interactive GUI should be demonstrated with the mouse interface. So you are writing my mouse function now along with calling callback function glut mouse function in your main program. Now while using this, you should know some of the things about the my mouse function. My mouse, there should be a button, the state of the button, and the position where on the screen this button is pressed, that is X and Y. Button is one of the option, left button, middle button, right button. Some of the mouse is having only two buttons, then we'll use only left and right. If the middle button is also provided, you can use middle button support. This is the standard macro that helps you to catch the button values. So it will gives the value 0, 1, 2 internally because it's integer value. Next, state. What is the state of that button? Whether the button is in up position or down position. That is the state. So based on each button, you are having different possible states. Now you catch this. And the third and fourth parameter is with respect to window, what is the position of your mouse in your screen? What is the value of X and Y? That should be written. Once again here, the Y value should be flipped to catch exactly your coordinate system into your program. X and Y are the mouse position at the time of the event which you are catching. So this is totally the mouse function scenario in your program. Now we'll try to catch this through a program. The mouse event, whatever it acts as a pointing device that what you are generated, when the mouse is moved with one of the button is pressed, the mouse event occurs when one of the mouse button is pressed or released. Anything may happen, depends on the requirement, the corresponding actions are written. So why inside your program will catch these values. Based on the values, the actions are invoked. Glut mouse function does all these activities. I hope the demonstration of this through a program should be given. So an example, a sample code for a mouse interaction, my mouse function. Switch button, you catch this button. If left button is pressed, if the state is glut down, then call idle function. If glut right button is pressed, if the state is glut down, call another function. You can use any of your own function here. And remember to use break function because you are using case study. The corresponding invocation of your activity should be taken care here. This is how my mouse or your own routine which are required in order to handle. In the main program, we are adding one more API that is called glut mouse function or my mouse. So to handle this function, let us observe the main program first. Main glut init, glut mouse function, my mouse, glut display function. Remaining thing is same as it is. Now you are creating a square. Whenever a mouse button is pressed, the square should be created. That is how you want to demonstrate your program. In the my mouse routine, if button is equal to glut left button and state is equal to glut down, you are calling a function draw square. When left button is pressed, then only square is drawn. Otherwise, we will not draw anything. Now we are, when you call draw square is as similar to your another function, calling a square function with a polygon support and giving 4 vertex, and the square is get ready on your screen. And while in the main function, if button is right button and state is equal to glut down, so you are exit. So you are coming out from your program. So here the display function is only GL clear color buffer bit. You are not drawing any picture. You are GL flush. Only whenever a left button is pressed, then only the square is created. So using this simple program, you are interfacing a mouse to your program based on the mouse activity you are doing. Enhance this program by introducing so many other activities. We can introduce here drawing a square or any other thing, and we can make use of all button status. Left button, right button, middle button, state is down, up, all routines you can catch and make your program more interactive with the help of mouse interface. So with this, I will try to end up today's session. I think we understood 2 important devices that how to connect to your program. With this, let us move to tomorrow for the same continuation of this session, and we'll try to understand. Another interesting is whenever at the runtime user changes these routines, how internal content should also be modified accordingly. So that activity is called as reshaping. That we'll discuss in the next hour. With this, once again, I will wish you all the best to try to stay in your room, house or room, wherever you are there. Be comfortable, because you know how coronavirus spreading is going on in our India. All our duty is to follow the instruction given by the government and the local authorities. We should not disturb the activities. Many people who are behind, they are working working. But what best we can do as in the house is just to make yourself comfortable for this scenario. And just with the help of all of you, we are running this Zoom activity. I hope with this Zoom, at least you are active for 1 hour. If you make use of this activity today, complete today, you can develop a small program. You take any internet help. And so there are so many people who have written programs, simple programs. Try to download those programs and run this program and see, observe what is the outcome of this program. If you understand this, I hope the mini project which is given in this subject, you can develop yourself. You need not to depend on anybody. So this is our intention and your intention also. At the end of any course, you should have a confidence that this project are developed by yourself. So that confidence you should have. How it is possible until unless you work out? Is my advice is try to work out these simple program. Don't run big programs. When these simple programs are under your control, then you can develop any lengthier program and many more activities in that program. The project will be under your control. With this, I'll try to wind up this and make yourself comfortable. Go ahead. Thank you once again.